Oh my God, I got myself into some arguments this morning. To me, it's not. It's a difference of opinion. To me, I have opinion that is based on something, and then there's other people who have opinion that's not. I don't know, based on anything, based on what they're told or something. You got to look into stuff. Like I have been saying about the white people for so long, that there's something up about it. That there is. I mean, it's in the Sumerian tablets about the what they did to mess with the DNA and stuff. Then they have the whole thing about the missing link. There was a big jump where all of a sudden man changed. Well, we don't even have a set consistency in time, and it's irrelevant. It is ages. And so in one age could have been Neanderthal, and then the other age was Homo sapien sapien. There was there's a difference. There's things that they can't explain. And so, you can look up about the missing link in science and stuff. I was talking to my daughter when she was in anthropology and archaeology and stuff, and it was the same time when I was watching all this stuff, because it's just how the universe does it. And I was watching Ancient Aliens and all this stuff, and so I was saying things to her. So I had a lot of conversations. And in the Sumerian tablets, it talks about the science and what they did to manipulate the beings here and stuff, and how many times they had to start over. And we know our history is a lie. We know time is a lie. We know all of these things are not true. And I mean, everything is micro, macro. We see what humans do to dogs. We go in, we start, oh, well, we don't like that part of them. Let's change it. We don't like that. They bark too much. Oh, they do that. So then we go in and we manipulate. And so it's the same thing that was done to us. I don't get how that is so hard for people. Are very attached to their whiteness. Like, it's very important to them. They really think like, no, we came from the rib of the atom or something. We came from, it is like they took the color out of the other people, and and it probably had to do with like things that changed our features and stuff. Like, this has been going on for a long time. I mean, white people have been around for a while, but the whole thing is like, where did they come from? And so these two different guys I see this morning who were sharing, this science lady who's up there talking about, where did white people come from? I'm sorry, you're created. And so I go in and go, that's what I've been saying. And I said, some more stuff. This one person who is just, I can't even believe how they are so upset because I agreed with this, with both the different people. And so they're coming in and, keep trying to tell me, well, history, well, this, well, that. It's like, fine, find a white tribe, prove me wrong. Find a white tribe, bring them, show me. And they start saying about the apostles. I said, the apostles were not white. Like, what are you talking about? I said, Jesus wasn't white. The apostles weren't white. And then they said, well, somehow, Jesus was from Palestine. And I don't even know what the hell. But they seem to be able to be like, oh, well, okay, yeah, they aren't white. It's like, yeah, and this one person's even, well, I really like my blue eyes. I'm not talking, I'm sure that, I've seen darker people with lighter eyes. I don't know that every single person throughout, before they started doing it, all had dark eyes. I don't know. I don't know where blue eyes came from. I don't know where green eyes came from, any of this stuff. It's the same thing as with this breeding with animals that we do, to make them bigger, make them smaller, make them quieter, make them louder, make them this, make them that. And that's the same thing that they did to us. We are animals. We are not, just as we look at dogs as not being able to, they can't go do this stuff for themselves. They can't do this. They can't do that. That's how we're looked at. And then you go to have some conversations and you see like how we got the fucking reputation. It's like, oh my Lord, have mercy. So this person knows even like, telling me that I'm pretending. Oh, you're married to a dark guy or something. I'm like, no, I'm white. My whole family's white. And then they're like, oh, you're just pretending. I'm pretending to be white. Go look on my fucking profile. Like, all you got to do is click on my picture. You go. You see, like, I've got about 1,000 videos of me talking. Not pretending to be anybody. And I said, you can go on my YouTube. I talk about this stuff. Like, go on there. Like, as far as I'm concerned, when you go back and you start looking at the different tribes, they're all dark. There is no whiteness that comes from these tribes. That is something that is manipulated in a lab. That's the way I see it. And people want to think, like we really are as far back in time as what they try and tell us we are. We're not. No, they keep us back in time. They keep on going. And, it's so that they can scare us and keep control and keep us under fear and stuff. It's so manipulative. It's so disgusting. Just as I was talking about yesterday, they have their whole funneling system, for finding the criminals, finding the people who are rotten, who will do rotten things for them, who will, that they what is that word? They, not admire, not is it's kind of like worship. Like they put more value into money or things that are more material than a human or human life. And so it is, and all this stuff is for people to learn. I have seen so many videos lately where there's so many people going missing right now. Oh my God, they're just kidnapping people right and left. I saw one lady and she was talking about this. I think she's in New York or someplace. I can't remember where she was. It wasn't in the city. And she had visitors come, and it was her sister and her little boy. And so she was out front with this little boy and her dog in the morning, and some old man comes up and says, well, that's a nice looking boy there. And so she's just kind of weirded out. And then he somehow circles back and comes back and starts trying to play with her dog. At the same time, this Penske van pulls up and sits there. She grabbed the kid, grabbed the dog, and ran in the house, and then went in and did a video and said, y'all better be watching, because, these people they're not even trying to hide it. I mean, there's so many people who are going missing. There's so many horrible things going on, man. It's hard. So many people are in such deep crisis, and it is, I saw this girl yesterday, and I've seen so many, but this girl was just like bawling her head off, and she's probably going into the dark night and doesn't realize it. Probably a lot of them are, because, part of it is facing, like, why does everybody treat me like shit? Why do I get walked all over? Why, and then you go back and you're like, I can't remember this girl's thing. It was horrible, her stuff. Her dad, something horrible. Her mom, something horrible. I can't remember all of her thing. But, it just starts you out with your challenges. It puts you right into your obstacles. And you go out into the world not liking yourself, doubting yourself, not feeling good about yourself. But, and people who supposedly loved you more than anybody in the world, then they didn't take care of you. They didn't protect you. They were mean to you. They talked down to you. All of these different things that we've all gone through. And it, creates this wounds, raw, painful places inside of us. We come in and we've got nobody else to trust. And the people who are supposedly there for you have done nothing but hurt you. And, the people don't realize that there's a point to that. There's a purpose. It's not that you did something wrong or they did something wrong. It is things are playing out. You're playing out scenarios. And as you play them out, you choose the scenario because you want to overcome the challenges. And so, this girl was all distraught because her landlord is also her husband's boss, who is evil, and why do evil people keep getting ahead, and the people who try and are kind can't get ahead? It's because we're in the upside down. It is, they tell us it's one thing, but it's really not. Just as, people believe religion is one thing, but it's not. So everything is upside down. People are not seeing things clearly. And then once it shifts and it goes right side up, the poles shift and it goes right side up, then things will make sense. But for all the people who thought the world made sense the other way, it's going to be, very difficult. It's going to be, like being on rough waters, and just their equilibrium, everything is going to be off. They're not going to understand, and there's going to be a huge amount of people. It's going to feel like a relief. Like I just saw this video of is all these Middle Eastern guys out doing this dance. It's probably rude, really, because they don't even have women involved. I don't know. Maybe it is some kind of traditional dance or something. There's just so much repression there for women. It's annoying, but they're fighting back. I mean, this is something that they have to fight back for, their right, their sovereignty, their purpose, their space, their life, their energy, as they have to fight back and say, hey, I matter. And like this girl, first you have to matter to yourself. Yeah, you have to release it. Yeah, I didn't matter to these people, And then when you get down to it, when you get to the point of being able to release that, then you can go in and you can look at those people. Well, I was expecting people who couldn't take care of themselves, people who had things wrong with them. I was expecting them to be able to do something for me, do something more for me than they could do for themselves. It's not likely. But you have to get to rational thought to get to that point of accepting that. And it was, I know I've said this before, but it was something that was really impactful to me. And it may have been like when I was in Al-Anon or something like that. It was a long time ago. But they said, if your dad came in a wheelchair, would you sit there and demand him to get up and be like, get up, you need to get up and do this? And then if he couldn't, would you blame him? Would you say, well, you're failing me? That's how you have to see. These people are emotional cripples. They're handicapped. They don't have the abilities. It's not like they're not giving you, it isn't like they're trying to not give you something they have. They don't have it for themselves. And in many cases, children are born into these things so that these people can see what they're missing. But so many people don't want to see. So many people are comfortable living in their pain. It's uncomfortable to do something different. And we've been, pain has been a part of existence for so long. Like, this has been an age full of, it was full of duality, so that you could make a choice, are you going light or are you going dark? And even when the dark is piled on you, can you see the light? Can you find your way out of the dark? And that is what the challenge, that's why I said, like, most of us, our souls are very ego. Like, they come in, hell yeah, I can do that. And then we get in here and it's like, wait, did you forget about me? What am I doing down here? What am I doing? And it's all like, to me, it's so fascinating. I find it so fascinating how like, if I could take a part of myself and put it into another game and have the awareness and let that other part of myself adapt into its own state of consciousness. And, I find this all fascinating myself. But anyways, where the people get very trapped in the pain and they can't see, that all these things are piled on top of you because your soul chose that. And then it is up to you to see, like, what can you do? Where do you go from here? Do you become something that you hate? Or do you become a hero? Do you become an advocate for others? Can you recognize others in their pain and suffering? And can you advocate for them? Or you just so stuck in your own pain that you still need somebody to come and advocate for you. It's all a process. It's all a development. And every soul has the capability of doing it because every soul is far more advanced than what they think they are. There's so many people who think they have no power. They have no, they don't understand. They're so beat down, they don't realize that they're eternal. Like, you have a gift here. You have a gift of life. You have this opportunity to experience, to feel yourself, to feel another. It's remarkable. And, it's exciting and fun. But, as long as you're stuck in trauma, then it is hard. And that is, that's the big thing that is going on here, is so people can get out of trauma so that they can release and see even the people you see as you're a victim to their treatment. It is important for you to find that space in your heart to forgive and to understand, and to believe in yourself enough. Like, they wouldn't treat me this way if they could have been better. It wouldn't have mattered what child was born to them. They wouldn't have been able to do better than what they were able to do. I mean, I had 4 kids, and each kid has its own unique challenge. So even if you think like you can do okay with this one, you still have challenges that are coming in from the other way. And it's all a set thing. It's all supposed to happen the way it happens. You're supposed to have those relationships. They are your opportunities for growth. And these people come back into our lives, life after life after life, so that we can continue to play these things out. And, when you don't, you go and you heal and you play these things out and you put yourself on a leveling up on the spiritual plane, then you are just destined to repeat. How many people are here and they can't trust themselves? They think that, oh, I can't tell anybody someone's talking in my head, or the TV talked to me last night, because everybody's going to think I'm crazy. Because they get so caught up in thinking, oh, well, someone's going to think I'm crazy, because they feel insecure, because they're still carrying the pain from something somebody said to them a long time ago. And once you release that, and once you start showing yourself too, once you start showing yourself what you're made of, like, it is being at a weak point when you're just being bombarded, like, and it's like, how, like, for me, I know that when it was one crisis after another, after another, after another, for years and years and years. And then once it got to, the finale, when my last husband left me, and it was, it was hard, because I had wanted to leave him so much, so bad for so long, and I just didn't do it. I didn't stand up for myself. I didn't believe in myself. I was weak. I was weak-minded. I was, I needed to heal. I needed to be pushed into healing. And, and I know, even though in this life, me and this person are not in alignment, in other lives I know we are, because he gave me such a gift by leaving me, and I didn't realize it at the time. At the time, I was just, ego, like, oh my God, I can't even believe he left me. I should have left him. You go through the process. It's a process to go through. And, but then it got to the point where it was like, oh, now it's like I've been on this ride my whole life. I've just been on this merry-go-round, going round and round and round. It's the same fucking thing over and over and over. Something had to change. And so when I got pushed off and I fell, and I'm laying there, my knees hurt, and I'm just laying there, just beat down, like, what the fuck is, that is, you need to stay there. You need to stay there. You don't just jump up and get back on the ride. You need to lay there and process, how did I get here? What does it feel like to be here? What am I doing here? And, and in that process, that is when you start releasing, releasing, situations. A lot of mine was having to release the things that my, especially my youngest daughter, but all of them, have come back and, you did this or you said that. And, they all thought I was like some anorexic kind of, everybody's got to do what I say and be perfect or something. Like, no, I don't know how I came across them. I mean, they came in to show that side of me to myself. So, I had to witness it. I had to see myself through their eyes, no matter how uncomfortable it was. And then going through that process, I had to acknowledge, yeah, man, I was shitty. I was shallow. I was superficial. I was artificial. I was all the things that this world wants us to be. And, I wasn't healed in any way, shape, or form. I was just bouncing from relationship to relationship. My whole life had been bouncing around, was always changing. We were always having to move. I never got to have the same friends. I was just like bouncing through life and very uncomfortable, very awkward. And so, I I had to start seeing, that the choices I made affected other people. Me going out with these other abusive drunk guys affected my kids. And it also led into their dads of, why she's just a whore, she's a disrespect, like the total disregard of me as a person. And that that played in, and I had to acknowledge it. There's a reason why 2020 came and nobody had any respect for me. Nobody had listened to me. Everybody was just kind of like, okay, Grandma, you're so crazy. Everybody, that's basically what anybody says to me. Even yesterday, this one was kind of funny because she went in to get faucet water, and I was like, oh, and she goes, I don't think anything's wrong with it. Okay. Dump out the rest when you're done, because I know something is. And not only did I smell it and see it and taste it and got sick from it, but then I even looked it up on the website and it says it's full of carcinogens. So, you want to think nothing's wrong with it, go on ahead. This is the thing. People have to start realizing you need to look into things. Like, what are you basing your decisions on? What are you basing your choices on? But, I'm used to it at this point of being like, okay, crazy. Okay, crazy. It's like, okay, yeah, we'll see. The world flips upside down, and, but I had to become my own hero, really. There was nobody else who was going to, be there for me. I mean, I think people are a lot more comfortable with, like if I would have, at that point of that divorce, if I would have just gone right back in another relationship, that would have been totally expected. But if I would have I did get sick. I was on all those medicines. I got really sick. But if I would have just, gone off the deep end, just started drinking myself to death, going downtown, doing drugs because I didn't know what else to do, life just kept on knocking me down and knocking me down. And I didn't know how to do it. And I just had a hard life. My dad was abusive. My mom was not there. And, I just go on through your story of like giving yourself permission to fail. It's like I wasn't going to give myself permission to fail. Fail isn't a thing to me. Fail is no, I have got too much drive or ambition or something drives me, because I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna just give up. I've been through a lot of stuff and nothing has gotten me to just give up yet. And so but I think people would have been a lot more comfortable with that. To me, to just be like, oh, see, we knew. That's how she always was. She's going to choose the drug. She's going to just fall apart. She's going to go choose the man. She's going to, all of this stuff. And I didn't do any of that. I went on my own. I went and tried to figure out, like, why do things keep happening the way they happen? And I'm telling you, anybody who's got insecurities, that book, it's a green cover, and I think it's written in red, and I think it says gaslight or gaslighting or something like that. It's about gaslighting. But the thing that was so remarkable to me when I read it was just seeing the difference in an insecure girl's choice and a secure girl's choice. And then I started seeing, oh, so I'm an insecure girl. I'm somebody who doesn't believe in myself, who doesn't stand up for myself, who, is a pushover, who is, for the people who need to be in control and push people around, I'm the perfect target. So then I had to try and figure out, so how do you become a secure girl? How do you become a confident? And it was so crazy too, the unlikely, it's like this double, it's like this, I don't know what the word is, but it's like people always thought I was super confident. Like even, my kids, that's one thing that like her friends or like everybody was intimidated by me. And I was very intimidating, and men always thought I was super confident. And it's strange because that wasn't, I have no idea. I mean, that wasn't who I was. And, but then, I became that. I did become, but I appeared confident always. And was that just people's assumption? Because they thought, oh, she's tall and thin and blonde, she's confident, she's got it all. And then people come in and they're super, oh man, girls can be wicked mean if they think, like you've got it all going on. They just assume, and that's not the case. There's a lot of people, you can look at them and think they look good, but that doesn't mean they're not struggling on the inside. So there was a lot of healing, that I had to go through to raise my confidence. And, a big part of that is facing yourself and seeing like, yeah, I hurt this person. Yeah, I made some shitty choices. I wish I could go back and do it differently. But, that's the challenge of life. That's the game. You don't get to just go back, but the whole thing is that you can see it. You can see what you need to see, and you learn what you need to learn. I don't have to go back in and play it out in a different way because I learned from the experience. I can see that how my actions affect others. So I must be mindful in my actions. I must slow down. I got to think about, my interactions with people. I used to be a lot more just shooting from the hip all the time. Like, I was very opinionated too. Like, I was very, very opinionated. I was something that kind of drew guys in too. And, weirdly enough, is because I didn't back down. I would say what I had to say, and they would argue, and then I don't know, a lot of girls would just not talk or not stand up for what they believed or something. And so it was a draw, especially like my husband that I raised the kids with. He was always saying, I have never had a woman talk to me like you talk to me. It's so attractive. It's so strange, isn't it? But, I mean, I tell, my company all the time, men are attracted to confidence. That's what they're attracted to. It doesn't matter about your size, your hair color, any of the things. It is that they're attracted to confidence. If you feel good about yourself, then you're going to draw them into you. But, that's a challenge to feel good about yourself, especially when you come from so many traumas, but the whole thing is it's your opportunity to start looking at the traumas as lessons, as opportunities. And as some of the opportunities is to give compassion to people who aren't capable of being better. And through your compassion, you can teach somebody else how to heal themselves, how to do better just by walking your walk. That is the whole thing about being a role model, is about being true, being authentic, showing who you are. And that helps other people to be able to find that in themselves. But, no matter what, we're going into this period of time that's going to be very dramatic healing. Like, I mean, the people that I keep seeing, I mean, they're just bawling their heads off. They are just, they're at their wits' end. And it isn't even about all of, because you got the people who are so, oh my God. This Trump thing is like, oh my God. I guess apparently yesterday there was like more lives on TikTok than, I don't even know. All of these huge Dem groups going in and talking shit, man. That's what I keep saying. Like, these people, like, it's fucking mind-blowing, seriously. You're gonna get together and talk this stuff and say all this rude, biased stuff about this person. At the same time, you've got this other person who you're just completely ignoring. They're just committing crimes right in front of you, right and left. You got people who have warrants out for the just pretend like, nothing about that. I mean, an international warrant. Well, let's focus on Trump, like, and Stormy, or whatever the hell they're trying to say at this point. Bet your ass, this is to show. This is to show, like, oh, you're real comfortable with him being arrested. But when all of a sudden then they show he didn't do anything. But this guy over here, he sure the hell did. He did the same thing. I've been watching this play out, like I said, since 2020. I can't believe how many times I've seen this play out over and over and over. I mean, they show him, they get all the attention on him, but it's something that someone else did. But everybody's super comfortable with him going down. Like, it's like, that is your biases. This is the universe is giving you these opportunities to heal this shit. Like, it keeps getting brought up to you, but these people know. And they just want him to go down. And there's so many people who are also, I don't know, like, if they think of themselves as patriots or whatever, these people, but so many of them who are just, they hate Joe, but they also hate Trump. And they just are so focused on pointing out, like, these certain, like, they're so stuck in their awakening. Like, they got to one point and they just sat there, just going over it and over it and over it for years now. Haven't moved past the space that they were at. It's mind-boggling, I swear to God. I don't know, and then, the TDS, I mean, that was to show people. I mean, it's so extreme. You should be able to look at yourself and see, like, why am I getting so worked up? I mean, Jesus Christ, I hear his name and I'm just like, lose my mind. Yeah, kill him, kill him, kill him. It's like, what the fuck? That's you. That's inside of you. Your hatefulness, that's inside of you. And you're getting all these chances to purge it out, to be shown the truth. And there's a lot of people who won't be able to see it. And they're not even going to, some of them aren't going to see it till it flips. I mean, it can be shown over and over and then just oblivious. When everything flips and you won't be able to see, I mean, just as all we can see is evil running this world, it's going to be the same thing. And it's going to be just so, there will be no way to deny the truth. So, that'll be when everything flips, which, I mean, we're so close. I can't believe how many people who are going on now and saying that their banks are telling them they have to go digital. This one lady was even like, she was going through every person up to the manager, like, what's going on? Why are you saying this? And the manager said, well, we don't really know. We're trying to figure out this. They've sent us all this paperwork and stuff. We don't really know what's going on. We're just trying to figure it out. And so, and I would think it's the QFS. So, because that is already supposedly in place, but it could still be these other people trying to override the system and put theirs in place, because they're going to keep trying as long as any of them are around. And besides, like, we have to keep going through this to get people to wake up. It's so tedious. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe how many things can be right in someone's face and they just don't see it. God, it's mind-boggling. don't know where these people's consciousness is trapped. You know what I mean? It's like, how trapped are you? What do you spend your time thinking about? Where is your mind? Like, it weirds me out, man. I saw this one lady today. She came into my thing and she was like, I get this kind of stuff all the time where these people are like, where do you get your information? You say such, uh, you know, uh, not smart thing, like profound things. You say all these things, like all this kind of stuff that they'll say. And I'm always like, it's from my guides. It's not me. They've been telling me this shit for a long time. They're the ones talking. They're the ones saying this stuff. I'm not all that freaking, the more you connect to your higher self, I mean, I'm not going to say, well, I'm not that smart, because there's a part of me who obviously knows all this stuff. I'm just got to be listening. So it is, all that stuff is out there. I think it's out there for everybody. I believe everybody's got this connection, but their connections are interfered with, and they seem to be okay with that. Like, I really don't understand, like, how people process, like, where do you come up with your things? How do you think? What is guiding you and stuff? And I've got, like, all these guys all of a sudden, I don't know. It's been kind of like, I'm not sure if it is like these guys that they all of a sudden are like, oh, I'm not, who knows? This one guy, one stuff I want to go on a motorcycle ride, he's in Connecticut. It's like, dude, you gonna drive over here and take me on a motorcycle ride? I was just like, no, I'm it's weird, but there really is lots of guys that are online like that who just want to, like, date you or something. It's like, I can't just go around telling everybody, oh, I'm sorry, my heart's taken, but because people don't understand that. They don't understand, if your soul is connected to another person. I'm not looking for somebody. My soul is connected to this other person. Once they remember, then things will start taking off. They have to remember me the same as I remember them. And then, but, I'm not looking to date. But it's crazy how many of these people, like, you are far, far away. Like, where do you think this relationship would be going? I know the person who I'm meant to be with or whatever. I'm going to say meant to be with because, I don't think that they would have shown me over and over and over. And then I also know for sure it would be for sure because they wouldn't have spent all this time showing me. It just wouldn't be. So, I'm going to hold out for true love. I'm not going to go out and I don't feel desperate like that. Like, I don't know. I don't know. There is a desperation to dating. I've got to find a partner. I've got to go out and look. But I just don't think that way now. I can't say that I never did. I went out with lots of people. But now, and I always knew then, but I wasn't going on dating websites. I went on a couple, and I think I've been on 3 dates off of one. Let's see, that guy. I think maybe just 2 times, because I'm way more of a meeting somebody face to face, like going out into the world, and then you meet someone face to face, there's some sort of connection, and then you want to go see, like, what's this connection? Like, a lot of times, though, for me, it was these guys who, they just look at you and they just feel connected to you. And so then I would be like, okay, well, I'll go out with you. And then, like, there's nothing there. And so, but to me, it is, you don't need to go out shopping. Like the universe will bring you your person. Like I feel very confident that this person found me, and I mean, look at the numbers off my account on here, and I feel very confident that they found me, because they showed me this stuff, and then, but they still have to get to the point of recognition of, there's a whole process. Like, just because you see somebody doesn't mean you all of a sudden remember everything. I thought OA showed that really good too, because I mean, it's your soul connection. Like, you connect to your soul, and your soul is speaking to you, is showing you, and it's bringing in the people and all of that stuff. So I don't know. I don't doubt what is to come. I don't know how it's going to play out. I don't know when it's going to play out. And, I mean, this person wants to stay hidden. They can stay hidden until they're ready to not be hidden, I guess. I will just go on with my life, because, that's what I'm here to do, is go on with my life. And then at whatever point that they remember me, and we go into this other thing that we're here to do, and which I'm really excited for, and I'm really so curious to talk to them and see, like, what is your guidance? What are they telling you? Because they've sure told me a lot. So anyways, we'll just see how things keep playing out. I mean, now it's the 20th, and now and it's Monday, so I think there's going to be a lot that's going to go on this week. I think this is going to be an action-packed week, and crazy enough, this is supposed to be when I'm going to Yakima. Crazy enough, this is also supposed to be when she's flying to Oklahoma, which I just saw a guy in California, and he said, the news is not telling y'all what's going on here. It's bad. It's real bad. There's, I mean, the numbers are crazy. He said it's like 36 million people or something like that in California. And he said 26 million of them are under, there's a severe problem. Like, they are, there's all these floods, and the floods are supposed to get worse this week. And so there's all these floods, which this is the, that guy said about the storm. These big storms are going to come in, make it unstable with the wetness, and then we're going to have the big earthquake. And they have evacuations. They have people with no power, huge numbers. Like, California is in a state of disaster. Like, and, to me, as the universe is giving all these people, like, oh, you may want to get out of here. This isn't good. But California, well, those people had a lot of ego, a lot of stuff to work on. It had carried a certain energy, and this energy has to be purged. It has to be cleansed. It has to be healed, and, I knew California was going to be hit hard. There's going to be more places that are going to be hit hard. I didn't know Ohio would be one, but I didn't realize there was so much history, hidden history in Ohio under the ground. So, and, is some of this going to be to expose some of that? Like, everything is, like, the universe is coming in and just exposing things. They're making things so clear. And so, like, that's why these people can't win. They're up against the universe. Like, you're up against an energy that is, they think that they are gods because they are gods over us, because they control our habitat. But it isn't. They aren't gods, and they're up against a universe which you would think of as being God energy. It's the energy of change. This is the change. Winds of change are blowing through. It is the change in our landscape. It's the change in our attitude. It's the change in humanity. It's the evolution. And it's, it's what, everybody's got to go through it who wants to move forward. Like, there's no skipping and going into the next stage without going through this. You have to go through this. You have to go through the purge, the healing, letting go of things that don't serve you, or it is like letting go of this fake reality. It just is mind-blowing. It's just like, what? I don't know what people stay so trapped in their minds with, that it's so hard for them to see the truth. But I think this week is going to show a lot of people. Like, who knows? I mean, I don't think that they can. I think that this is going to go kind of faster. I don't think they're going to drag this out for weeks or months and put him in jail. And then, I think that it's going to go faster. Is it going to be, he's going to go, or he's the one who keeps saying all this stuff on Truth Social. He's the one drawing attention to this. This is a plan, So draw attention, get all these people talking. Like I said, all these lives yesterday, talking and critiquing and thinking they've got all the answers and know the truth. And finally, Trump's going to go down. And I mean, on one of the lives, there were so many. And one of them, I saw, and they were just talking about January. And this one lady, she was sitting there talking about all of this. What did she say? Or it was 1,000 people who were, mind you, 1,000 out of 1,000,000 people are supposedly there. 1,000 people out of that were violent or something. I don't remember how she was saying it. I was like, that is bullshit. It was not 1,000 people there being violent. What a bunch of bullshit. Go watch the tapes, check. And these people just go and say stuff. And the people who were being violent were the instigators, that I've been talking about. They put instigators in every fucking thing to get the crowd to go a certain direction. And then, I was so glad the guy with the horns, he's been vindicated. But he was showing, he was trying to calm people down. And, I swear he gave that vibe to me when I very first saw him, just his big old smile and his silly horns and his silly, you could see this guy has a fun silliness to him. He's not like how they try to portray him, like, well, he's the leader of this insurrection. Yes, like it was such a, oh my God. It was, so anyways, I'm glad that guy is being shown. But when these people sit there and say that, it's like, dude, the instigators, the thieves, the people who are out there to create chaos, those are the people who are violent. Like, it's ridiculous. So you're sitting there saying, like, oh yeah, we got these Christians and they're just out there with their kids and family, but they're gonna run up and start being violent. No. But, that's what biased people think. Biased people believe the worst because they've got biases. And I can't break down every person's bias. You have to do that for yourself. I mean, there was a reason why I thought Trump was a total asshole. I related him to my dad. I related him to this pervert who, I just kept seeing that. And, I couldn't imagine that he'd want to hold his daughter on his lap or sit on a bed with her without trying to, fondle her or something. So that was my biases, why I could look at him and think he was this other thing, especially why you got the media saying it. And then, I don't know. Everybody's got to come to their own conclusions, their own stuff. Everybody's got to look into things for themselves, see the truth. People just want to be led and misled and misdirected and believe things that they're told so they don't have to put in the work and figure it out for themselves. To me, it is, this is the everything. This is what everything is about. This is what everybody needs to be doing. And, we're going to keep getting these opportunities to show us, but we're moving into this money thing. The money thing, there's going to be some changes. They're coming in quick because the banks are already telling people that there's some kind of thing. So I don't know what's going to happen this week. I saw this one woman, she went to go get gas, and at the gas station her card wouldn't work. She went in, her card wouldn't work. It said it was working. She goes out to do the gas, it wouldn't work. And another guy at the pump too, he was having the same problem. They go in and do it again, and it took them a bunch of times to finally get it to go. And then she went home and told her husband, we gotta get some cash, because the cards aren't going to be working. But see, the cash isn't either, because the cash is worthless. Cash is seriously like, you know, I'm gonna stop because I'm gonna go out of town. I'm gonna stop at the weed store on the way out. If, you know, if it's open, I don't know how it's gonna go, because at some point they're gonna realize that we're giving them paper for something that's, you know, something real, and they're gonna have to close down the doors so that they stop being ripped off. And I mean, this one I think can take some cards. So, but then you have a problem with the cards because it's a federal crime. Like, there's a whole thing. Like, they make these people jump through hoops. So, you know, all of these shifts are going to be happening. There's a lot of stuff that has to shift. There's a lot of stuff that people don't realize that has to shift. But, you know, going out and taking this paper and buying anything. Like, I'm going to take the paper, and on my trip, as soon as I get there, I'm going to go fill up my tank and use the paper and be ready to be able to get back home. But, you know, I mean, it's still, like, I get through Seattle to get back home. Like, I don't know. If shit is going to go down, I wish it would just hurry up and go down. Come on, God. This is the stressful thing each time, every week. Every time I'm going to do something, it's like, oh my God, is this the time? Is this the time to travel? Is this smart? And the guy in California, he was talking about the disasters going on there. He said there's places that are expecting to be islands, that there's way too much water. And he said there 100% is airplanes falling out of the sky. So, I mean, I don't know what all they're hiding from us, you know, and I don't know why. I mean, they spend so much time trying to scare us. Some of the scariest stuff, why are they hiding it? Why don't they want us to know? Why are they covering the sun? Why are they covering, like, there's so much footage now. You see multiple suns, multiple moons, multiple planets, like all sorts of stuff. All you gotta do is go look at the footage that people are showing. And, you know, it's all blowing up. Like, the universe is revealing the truth, revealing itself. No more hidden, no more lies, no more control. The people who need to be controlled, want to be controlled, they're going to be left out in the cold. You know, there's not going to be somebody telling you you're a good person for this or that. You've got to go and figure out, you know, what you think of yourself. What makes you you? What is your idea of a good person? Who is it you want to be? Not what is, you know, that guy's idea of a good person, or that guy's idea of a good person. What is your idea of a good person? Who do you want to be? Do you want to be an artist? Do you want to be a musician? Do you want to be some type of a creator? Do you want to be, you know, there's like all opportunities are there for you to decide what it is that you want for you. And then you have to take that step, walk into that position, walk onto that path. And, you know, it's going to take confidence. That, you know, you got to do your healing. And even when you think you're confident and you start on your path, you're going to be hit with obstacles, because they're going to show you what more things that you have to heal, you know. And don't feel beat down. Don't feel like you haven't done enough. You've been working so hard on yourself, and it just keeps coming and coming. Yeah, it's going to keep coming. It'll keep coming for years. Doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It means everything you heal gets you to the position to be able to heal the next thing. They can't bombard you with the worst things when you're not even ready to heal the first thing. So you got to heal the first thing, heal the second thing, heal the third thing, heal the fourth. And it'll just more and more will keep coming until, you know, to me, you get to a point where it's like it doesn't feel like you're healing it anymore. You're just acknowledging it. You're witnessing, you're observing, you're understanding. So you're just, it's another level. But yeah, when you're in the healing part, it's fucking hard. It's hard. And I completely say, don't get up. Lay there. Feel your pain. Don't jump right back into the fucking circus. Don't jump right back on the merry-go-round. Don't go back into what's comfortable. Break your fucking cycles. Break them. Release them. Lay there as long as it takes. And really try and figure out. Remember, all of the bad things that anybody ever said to you for your whole life. Remember them. Feel them. See if you agree. You know? Do you think that's what you are? Did you start becoming what someone else thought you were. You know, these are your time to see this. This is your time to heal this, to grow from this. So go in and look at it and look deep. And, you know, and there's no shame. You can lay there as long as you want to lay there. I mean, nobody can judge what you have to do to heal. Nobody can judge what you've been through. Only you know. And you've got to do your process. So I make it all emotional. But it's real, you know. And it is, if people just knew that they could feel better by facing the stuff they don't want to face, then they could, you know, I just know that people are going to start seeing it. You know, there's a lot of people in a lot of trauma, and they're going to start seeing it, and they're going to start healing, and things are going to get better, and there's going to be people who can't face it, and they're going to be, you know, killing themselves right and left. There's going to be a huge amount of suicide that's going to be coming up in the very near future. So, you know, it just, for anybody you're around, remember to be kind, be, you know, sweet and sensitive, because it's going to be very haunting if you were cold or sharp to somebody and then they, you know, you didn't realize what they had going on inside was too much for them. It's a lot. And it's a lot for a lot of people. And healing's hard. Healing's not easy. And, you know, facing yourself is not easy. It is a challenge. And, you know, I just saw this woman and she was talking about that she had been going in and just reading comments, and she just got lost in reading comments, and she found herself in this one where it was a 17-year-old girl talking, and she said all the comments were these older women in attacking this girl. Like, if you find yourself needing to attack somebody, you've got pain you're hiding from. You need to focus on your pain. You need to release your pain. To go out and to not be kind to people shows you've got issues. And to go out and even, you know, try and find somebody to attack like that, like there's no especially a kids, like, god damn, they're going through enough. I just saw this teacher. I'll stop after this one. As I saw this teacher, and I don't know how long she'd been a teacher, but she said she was quitting. She said so many teachers are quitting. And, you know, that's part of the system collapse. But she said that it's horrible. She said you're just, how you're treated, and the students and their violence, and they don't care. They don't want to learn. They threaten. And her last straw was a kid who was looking at something inappropriate on his phone. She tried to take the phone. He wouldn't give it, so she sent him to the office. He went to the dean's office. As soon as he got down there, the dean sent him back to class. She's in an isolated class that has no security, nothing. And not only did the kid threaten her, but he said that he said his parents were going to too. And I don't know what the threats were. She wasn't saying everything. But she was scared. She was scared to go out to her car. So she quit. She left the job 2 hours ahead. And the whole thing is this is what people have to face. How many people stopped raising their kids? They stopped. They don't raise their kids. They leave it for the school. They leave it for the teachers. They don't want to be bothered. They got to get to work. It's not working. Kids are out of control. Kids are being misled. We've got a big problem in our hands, and people need to wake up. And the worst thing that we can ever do is put a bunch of insecure, angry people out into the world. You know, it's time for things to change. People got to see that this is the time of change, and we're in the process of changing. And if you don't want to be held back, you better get to changing. So I'll talk to you later. Bye. Oh yeah, and so I'll come and I'll do my regular taping this week until I leave, and then it will be a kind of, I'll do a little bit here or there during that week, but I don't know. I mean, I could come back later today and talk more about whatever goes on today or tomorrow. I mean, I feel like maybe I'll even go live. I don't know. But there's not enough people. Like on TikTok there is. I mean, enough people, but there's so many lives. There's this Trump thing has really got people talking. And I know it is to get them to see the truth. And so many won't be able to, or it's going to just blow their minds so much that it's going to just create chaos. Like, I don't know. We'll see how this all plays out. So anyways, I will maybe be back later today, but I will talk to you later. Bye.